Hey guys, welcome to Erks Collectibles. If you're new to the channel, I'd really appreciate if you give the video a like and subscribe for future videos. I've got a lot of different collectibles I review, action figures, lightsabers. I got a lot of stuff in the works. Alright, for today's video, this is my top 10 DC Multiverse McFarlane Toys figures of 2022. Personally, I think us DC Multiverse fans, we ate really well this year. I think Todd really listened to a lot of our wants, and I think a lot of the articulation was, for the most part, better this year, as well as character selection. And so I'm really excited to share with you all my list. Coming in at number 10 is the Black Adam movie figure. Normally he'd be higher on my list, but I just like the comic figures more, and so I tend to rank them higher. But overall, this figure had a really nice likeness. Personally, I think it looks like The Rock. The details are really nice. Paint apps, the articulation, I think everything overall is really top notch, and honestly better than most of their movie figures. I think their likenesses are improving, and a really good figure. At number 9, we have the Gold Label Martian Manhunter, the classic version of the character. While I do like the regular release, I just love the classic look for him. He would be higher on this list, but I do have a few complaints here. I just think that collar really does not look great. Since it isn't included on the regular version, it really does look like they just kind of threw it on there. And the reason it doesn't work, in my opinion, is the head. The head and the neck are so small that the collar just, like, you can barely see over it on the sides. So that's just a nitpick that I have. I also wish his head was longer and thinner, as well as his neck. You know, typically he's got kind of that long face, and so this head sculpt to me just is weird. It doesn't really look like Martian Manhunter that I'm used to. And you know, he's been drawn different over the years in the comics, but I think at least a longer neck would have helped this figure. Coming in at number 8 is the John Constantine figure, and I know technically this is DC Direct because it's part of the comic book wave, but it's a DC Multiverse, let's be honest. It's the exact same as all the other DC Multiverse as far as articulation, paint apps. So, you know, my list, I'm choosing to include it here. And this is a figure and a character that we've all been asking for years, and I think they really knocked it out of the park. You know, it's got some cool accessories, that nice book, and that or whatever that is, that spell he's casting. But you know, the head sculpt's okay. I think it really does kind of look like his original art from Swamp Thing in the Alan Moore run. He did look like Sting, and I think they've really captured that. You know, it's just a great figure with that awesome long trench coat, you know, shirt and tie. And I know a lot of people are using this for customs for like a Commissioner Gordon or other characters like that. So a really solid figure, and he looks awesome with my Swamp Thing. Coming in at number 7 is our boy Robert Pattinson, or Battinson, or whatever you want to call him, the Batman movie figure. I think they really knocked it out of the park with the detail in the suit in this figure. It looks very movie accurate, and I know customizers have really had a lot of fun with this figure. I tried adding some silver paint, which really did not turn out well, but I've seen a lot of customizers really turn this into a beautiful figure with extra paint and things. Unfortunately, the paint detail was very slim, but the sculpted detail is so excellent that with just a little touch up, it can really come to life. I think the head sculpt for the most part is good. Unfortunately, it does have that side eye that the earlier figures of the year suffered from. Overall, it's a great representation of the film, suit, and character of the Batman, which, side note, the Batman was easily my favorite comic book film of the year and my second favorite film of the year. At number 6, we have Deathstroke the Terminator from the DC Rebirth design. We had already gotten the Arkham Origins Deathstroke, but I love that we finally got a comic version of the character. I like that this version of the suit is kind of back to basics. Like, it definitely has some nice textures and color choices that are classic for the character, but it's not overly complicated in my opinion. Now, this figure did not come with the firearms. Those are part of the weapons pack from McFarlane that I got separately. It does come with that little chin knife and the sword. Just overall, great sculpt. And you know, I'm still surprised how much Todd and the McFarlane Toys team can do new sculpts for each of the figures. It's really something that is special with this line, and something that we're really fortunate to have, I think. In fifth place, we have Kyle Rayner from the Blackest Night wave. I probably would have done the classic 90s Kyle Rayner if I were able to pick him up. Side rant here, some of the exclusives this year were awful. I wasn't even able to pick up Shazam, Kyle Rayner Classic, and the Nightfall Azrael. None of those were even available for pre-order, and I was really disappointed with how Walmart handled those. There was no announcement, they just showed up in stores, and then the pre-orders came later, but then they were already sold out. It was really weird. Anyways, that was annoying this year. I hope next year we can see better pre-order exclusive situations. All that aside, this is a great figure. This version came with the Green Lantern sword accessory and the lantern. I just love how simple this figure is. It just looks straight out of the comics. Kyle's face sculpt is great. You know, he's got that iconic mask. And personally, I do like this design better than his 90s look, but, you know, his 90s look is iconic, so I would have liked to grab that, but not on the aftermarket. Anyways, great figure and a great wave overall for Green Lantern. Coming in just below the top three, in fourth place, we have the Red Lantern Atrocitus Build-A-Figure, or collect-to-build figure, whatever you want to call it. This, for me, was a huge win. I love the Blackest Night comics. I love the Jeff Johns Green Lantern run, all the lanterns. So the more lanterns we can get, the better for me. I love them, and this figure is awesome. The details are great. I love the design of this character in the first place, and it really just looks like they pulled him straight from the comics. I love that they sculpt in the ring detail and it's not just painted on. Overall, just a beautiful figure. Please keep the lanterns coming. We need a Sinestro still. I would love one of those. Any blue lanterns, more green lanterns, the Guardians. Just keep them coming, Todd. Our bronze medalist of the year is the Gladiator Superman. Now, I have not even read this comic, but nonetheless, the figure looks incredible. All new sculpt, I believe. Got that kind of Kingdom Come S emblem, which is awesome. I love the chains that are bound on his ankles and wrists. The shield is great. The axe. The head sculpt is excellent. Just kind of that angry look. And the paint apps, really good. I love the gray-haired Superman look. You know, very Kingdom Come adjacent. Fingers crossed for an actual Kingdom Come Superman. I know we're getting a Kingdom Come Batman soon. All that aside, this figure is awesome. Cape looks great as well. Overall, a great design and great articulation. In second place, the silver medalist is the Dark Knight Returns Batman. Now, I may be wrong on this, but I believe we received this figure in January of this year, 2022. Some people might have gotten it in December of 21. From what I could tell researching the release, it was scheduled to release in January, and so I'm counting it as a 2022 figure. I love this figure. The whole wave was great, but this one stood out above the rest. It looks straight out of Frank Miller's comic, The Dark Knight Returns. It's just beautiful. Like, the articulation is great. The first figure, I believe, with thigh cuts. Hope we can get more of those. You know, the head might be a little small, true, but it still works to me. And, you know, Frank Miller's proportions aren't exactly accurate, so to me it looks right. I love the bat symbol. I just love the bulking bruiser Batman look. And I'm shocked we haven't gotten a blue gold label of this. The blue costume with the yellow bat symbol. I'll be the first in line to buy one of those, especially if it's a battle damaged version. That's on my wish list, but I love the bat grapnel accessory. I just love this figure. This is easily my favorite Batman from Todd that we've gotten, and one of the best of the year. Coming in first place, our gold medalist winner, it is Bane, the mega figure. This guy is incredible. To me, he easily takes the first spot. He looks straight out of the comics. You know, he is slightly different than the Nightfall Bane. You know, there are some additional pouches and things, which, you know, I would love just a classic Nightfall, but that being said, the pouches look great. The tank in the back with the Venom going to his head and arms look awesome. This is the Bane figure we've been asking for years, and Todd finally delivered. Best Bane figure I've ever seen, honestly. I love the detail. I mean, he looks straight out of the comics. Articulation on these mega figures isn't always the best. You know, he doesn't even have bicep swivels, which is a little unfortunate, but even with that, it's still the best figure by far for me. It's a perfect representation of Bane, goes great on your Batman villain shelf, and you can definitely get him into the backbreaker pose as well. I can't stop gushing about this figure. He's amazing. I hope Todd keeps giving us these awesome mega figures as well as this diverse line. One thing I hope for in the next year is more female characters. You'll notice I didn't have any on the list. That's just because we're not really getting a lot of them. I'd love to see a Hawk Girl, Black Canary, Star Sapphire, a classic Wonder Woman. Vixen would be awesome, Stargirl. So I hope we get more of those in the future to kind of diversify the line a little bit. Rant aside, this year was a great year for the DC Multiverse figures, for DC fans and DC collectors. Let me know in the comments what you think. Let me know your top 10. I love chatting about these figures, something I geek out to, so I'd love to hear your thoughts. Let me know if you disagree or agree. Thank you guys so much for checking this video out. Again, if you would like to support the channel, go ahead and like the video and subscribe. I really do appreciate it. Thanks again, and I hope you have a great rest of your day.